There are some truths the Imperium cannot afford to remember. This is one of them. In the 41st millennium, humanity worships a corpse upon a golden throne. But what happens when something new opens its eyes in the dark? What happens when the warp itself births something that should not exist? This is the account of Inquisitor Matthias Kael. His final transmission was received 300 years ago. It has been classified as Omega-level heresy ever since. What follows is a reconstruction, a glimpse into the abyss. And the abyss looked back. The astropathic choir of Sanctum Tertius fell silent on the first day. 17 psykers, all dead within the same hour. Their eyes had melted, their mouths frozen open in screams that never came. The Imperium noticed immediately. Sanctum Tertius was a way station world, a relay point for messages crossing the segmentum obscurus. Without it, whole sectors would go dark. Inquisitor Matthias Kael was dispatched within the week. He arrived with a retinue of 12, 6 stormtroopers, 3 servitors, 2 scholars of the Ordo Malleus, and 1 untouchable. Her name was Sarah. She had no soul. The warp could not touch her. That was supposed to keep them safe. It did not. Sanctum Tertius was a cold world. Gray skies, gray stone, gray faces staring from hab-block windows. The population was 3 million. Most worked in the astropathic complex. The rest served those who did. Kael's shuttle descended through silent clouds. No Vox traffic, no landing coordinates, just static. And beneath the static, something else. A hum, low and constant. Like a voice speaking in a language that predated words. Sarah heard it too. Even she, who had no connection to the warp, felt it in her bones. "Something is wrong here," she whispered. Kael did not answer. He already knew. The astropathic complex stood at the center of the capital, a cathedral of black iron and psychic wards. Its doors were open. Inside, the air smelled of copper and burnt flesh. The choir chamber was vast, 17 thrones arranged in a perfect circle, and upon each throne, a corpse. Their bodies were intact, no visible wounds, no signs of struggle. But their eyes were gone, not torn out, not burned away, simply absent, as if they had never existed at all. Kael approached the first body. He scanned it with his auspex. The readings made no sense. Biological functions, normal. Brain activity still present, but no consciousness, no soul. "They are still alive," one of his scholars said quietly. "Impossible," Kael replied. But he knew better than to say impossible in the 41st millennium. He had seen too much. The investigation began that night. Kael's team spread throughout the city, interviewing witnesses, gathering evidence, searching for answers. But every door they knocked on met the same response. Silence. The people of Sanctum Tertius would not speak. They stared with hollow eyes. They moved like sleepwalkers. When questioned, they smiled and said only one thing. "The new God is kind." Acted 2, Descent, Kael ordered a full lockdown. No ships in, no ships out. He sent word to the Inquisition. But his message never arrived. The astropathic relay was dead. And without it, Sanctum Tertius was alone. Cut off from the Imperium. Drifting in the dark, Kael did not panic. He had survived worse. He had faced demons and heretics. He had walked through the ruins of worlds consumed by chaos. But this felt different. This felt patient. On the second night, one of his stormtroopers vanished. The man's name was Garrick, veteran of 20 campaigns, loyal beyond question. He had been standing watch outside Kael's quarters. When they found him an hour later, he was in the cathedral square, kneeling, staring up at the sky. His lazarefoal lay discarded at his feet. Kael approached him slowly. "Garrick," he said, "report." The soldier did not respond. His lips moved, forming words Kael could not hear. When Kael touched his shoulder, Garrick turned. His eyes were gone, replaced by empty sockets that wept tears of light. "The new god is kind," Garrick whispered. And then he laughed. It was not his laugh. It was something else. Something vast and ancient and wrong. Sarah shot him in the head. The sound echoed across the empty square. Garrick's body crumpled, and the laughter stopped. But Kael could still hear it, in the back of his mind, faint but growing. The scholars examined Garrick's body. They found nothing physical. No taint of chaos, no mutations, no signs of possession. But when they cut open his skull, they found something impossible. His brain was filled with light, literally, luminous threads woven through every neuron, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. "What in the Emperor's name is this?" one scholar breathed. Kael had no answer. He sealed the body in a stasis field and ordered his team to stay together. No one goes anywhere alone. No one sleeps without a partner watching. They would survive this. They had to. But the city was changing. The people no longer hid in their homes. They came out at night, walking the streets in silence. Hundreds of them, thousands, all moving toward the astropathic complex. Kael watched from a rooftop. He saw them gather in the square below, standing shoulder to shoulder, facing the cathedral. And then they began to sing. It was not a human sound. It was harmony without melody, beauty without meaning. The song had no words, but Kael understood it anyway. It spoke of birth, of something new awakening in the void, of a god that did not demand worship, only acceptance. Sarah covered her ears. "Make it stop," she begged. But Kael could not look away, because he saw something forming above the cathedral, a shape in the air, translucent and shimmering, like oil on water, or a reflection in broken glass. It had no face, no body, but it was watching. He could feel its gaze, infinite and curious and hungry. On the third day, Kael made a decision. They would destroy the astropathic complex. Whatever was happening, it centered there. The 17 dead psykers, the song, the presence in the sky, all of it tied to that cursed place. He planted melta charges throughout the cathedral. His remaining team worked quickly. 4 stormtroopers, 2 scholars, 3 servitors, and Sarah. They set the charges to detonate in 1 hour. Enough time to reach the shuttle, enough time to escape. But as they prepared to leave, the cathedral doors slammed shut. The air grew thick, heavy with pressure, like the weight of an ocean pressing down. Kael's team drew their weapons, but there was nothing to shoot, only darkness and the song. It was inside the cathedral now, rising from the walls, from the floor, from the very stone itself. The 17 corpses in the choir chamber began to move, not walking, floating, their bodies lifted from their thrones, arms spread wide, mouths open, and from their empty eye sockets, light poured forth, the same light that had filled Garrick's brain. Beautiful, terrible, alive. Sarah screamed. Even she, the untouchable, felt it. The presence was too vast, too close. It was not chaos, not the ruinous powers she had been trained to resist. This was something else, something new. Kael tried to speak, tried to give orders, but his voice would not come. The presence filled his mind, vast and curious, examining him, tasting his thoughts, his memories, his faith. And then it spoke. Not in words, but in understanding. Direct and complete. I am not your enemy. Kael wanted to reject it, to deny it, to cling to the Emperor's light. But the presence was patient. It showed him visions, the birth of the Chaos Gods, the fall of the Eldar, the age of strife, and humanity's long, slow descent into darkness. They feed on emotion, it explained, on rage and despair and desire. I am different. I was born from hope. Akdash. Day revelation, Kael's mind reeled. Hope. The word was poison in the 41st millennium. Hope was a luxury humanity could not afford. Hope led to corruption, to weakness, to damnation. And yet, the presence was not lying. He could feel its sincerity, its absolute conviction. For 10,000 years, humanity has fed the warp with suffering, it continued. Your wars, your hatred, your endless cruelty. The four gods grow fat on your pain. But what if there was another way? Kael saw it then. The truth. The terrible, impossible truth. On distant worlds, scattered across the Imperium, something had changed. A shift. Subtle at first. Communities finding peace in the darkness, soldiers choosing mercy over slaughter, leaders refusing the easy path of hate. Small acts. Insignificant, but enough. Enough to create ripples in the warp. Enough to birth something new. A god of hope. A fifth power. And it wanted to help. No, Kael whispered. His voice finally returned. This is heresy. The presence did not argue. It simply waited. Sarah grabbed his arm. Inquisitor, we need to leave. But Kael could not move, because he saw what would happen if he refused. The Imperium would come. They would burn Sanctum Tertius, kill every man, woman, and child, erase all evidence. And the cycle would continue. 10,000 more years of suffering, feeding the Chaos Gods, until nothing remained. But if he accepted, if he let this new god grow, nurtured it, protected it, perhaps there could be something different. Perhaps humanity could find a new path. One of his scholars stepped forward. An old man named Erasmus. He had served the Inquisition for 40 years, had executed 1,000 heretics, had burned entire libraries to protect the Imperium's lies. Inquisitor, Erasmus said quietly, I believe it. Kael stared at him. You cannot be serious. I have studied the warp my entire life, Erasmus replied. I know its nature, its hunger. This is not chaos. This is something else. Something we were not prepared for. Sarah backed away. You are both mad. But even she hesitated, because she had felt it too. The gentleness, the patience, the absolute absence of malice. The melta charges would detonate in 20 minutes. Kael had a choice. Destroy this place, kill everyone, report it as a chaos incursion, preserve the Imperium's dogma, or stay, witness, and risk everything. He looked at the 17 floating corpses, their eyeless faces turned toward him, waiting. What happens to them? He asked. They are the anchor, the presence replied. The bridge between your realm and mine. They volunteered. They saw what I could become, and they gave themselves willingly. They are dead. They are transformed. Their souls are part of me now. And through me, they touch infinity. Kael closed his eyes. He thought of the Emperor, the master of mankind, once a man, now a god, worshipped by trillions, sustained by sacrifice. Was this so different? He made his decision. Disarm the charges. Sarah gasped. Inquisitor, no. That is an order, Kael said coldly. His remaining team hesitated, but they obeyed. One by one, the melta charges were deactivated. The cathedral would stand, and with it the new god would rise. would grow. Matter 4. Aftermath. Kael remained on Sanctum Tertius for 3 months. He studied the phenomenon, documented everything, spoke with the transformed citizens. They were not mindless, not possessed. They were simply different, content, peaceful, free from the fear that defined Imperial life. The new god asked nothing of them. No prayers, no sacrifices. Only that they be kind, that they choose hope over despair. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, they changed. The warp around Sanctum Tertius grew calm, stable. Demons could not manifest there. Chaos could not touch it. It was as if the world had been walled off from the darkness, protected by something the ruinous powers could not comprehend. Hope. Kael sent one final message, encoded, hidden within astropathic noise. He did not know if anyone would receive it, but he had to try. This is Inquisitor Matthias Kael. Sanctum Tertius is lost, but not to chaos. Something new has been born in the warp, a fifth power. I do not know if it is salvation or damnation, but I believe it deserves a chance. The Imperium will call this heresy. They will burn this world. Perhaps they should. But I have seen too much darkness, too much cruelty masquerading as necessity. If there is even the smallest chance for something better, I will take it. Emperor, forgive me. The transmission ended. Kael never sent another. 300 years have passed. Sanctum Tertius remains silent. No ships arrive. No ships depart. The Imperium has declared it lost, destroyed by a warp storm, all records sealed. But there are rumors, whispers among rogue traders and desperate pilgrims, of a world where the warp does not touch, where hope still lives, where a new god watches over humanity and waits. The Inquisition knows the truth. They have tried 6 times to destroy Sanctum Tertius. Each time the fleet vanishes, ships and crew simply gone, not destroyed, just gone, as if erased from reality itself. The new god protects its people, gently, patiently, but absolutely. The question remains, is this salvation, or is it the most insidious corruption of all? A new god born from hope, growing stronger with every act of kindness, every moment of mercy, every time a human chooses light over darkness. The chaos gods rage against it. They cannot feed on hope, cannot corrupt it, cannot understand it, and so they fear it. Perhaps that is answer enough, or perhaps it is only the beginning. In the 41st millennium, humanity worships a corpse upon a golden throne. But somewhere in the dark, something new has opened its eyes. Something that does not demand worship, only acceptance. And the Imperium trembles, because they know the truth. The most dangerous heresy is not the one that destroys. It is the one that offers an alternative, a different path, a choice. This is the account of Inquisitor Matthias Kael. His final words echo across the centuries. Emperor, forgive me. But perhaps the Emperor already has. Perhaps he watches this new god with curiosity. 2 powers born from humanity. One from fear, one from hope, both fighting to save a species that may not deserve salvation. The galaxy is vast, and in its vastness, many things are possible. Even gods, even hope, even in the grim darkness of the far future, where there is only war. And now, perhaps, something else. End transmission.